Another really cool feature is that the first building sort of dictates the style of the city. So we have an aesthetic matching system which looks through the database and basically says all these other buildings look like the first one, so we should put them in the in the city. So the cities have kind of like an architectural style that's unified, which I think is really cool. If we zoom over here to see our city, we see we can buy a UFO and transition to space game. Space game, I get control of my vehicle back again, so it's a lot like Creature Game where I can drive around the world using the mouse control or the WASD keys. Another really cool feature of Spore that I don't think going through the demo this fast communicates is that every level increases your ability to zoom out, you know? So now that you're in space, for the first time ever, you can zoom all the way out and see your entire, one side of your planet. And the really cool thing to remember is, by this stage, you made most of the things that are on that planet. You made the buildings, you made the vehicles, you made your UFO, you made the creatures. So this really does feel like your home planet, Other games say, oh, this is your home planet, it's part of a cutscene and you've never seen it before in your life. But in Spore, by this stage, you finally see your home planet and it really is something that you made. You'll also say, oh, that's where I crawled out of the primordial soup, and that's where I built my first heart, and that's where I fought that great battle and all that sort of stuff, And if we zoom further out, you can get the solar system view. And here, you can start to see the other planets and objects that are circling your sun. So let's zoom in and see what that is. It looks a bit like a barren rock. Let's not go there. And here you start to see all of the other cool planet scripts that we have. They have different colored oceans and different climates and weird effects and different land formations and of course different creatures. Find some creatures. There's one. Space is more of an open-ended game, so now that you've hit here, there's really no end to it, and a lot of it is about seeing new content, exploring new worlds, and also fooling around with the content that you find on these worlds. So each one of these icons represents kind of like a bucket of tools. Here you've got some combat tools, so you can say, I'm going to laser that poor creature. Or you could say, I'm going to shoot them. But over here you might say, oh, you know what, actually, that's a really cool creature. I'm going to take him back to my home planet, and set him down there and see what happens. Or I could drop him. Or I could throw him. And that barren planet you saw earlier, if you wanted to and you had the resources, you could actually terraform it. You have a whole suite of terraforming tools. You can raise and lower the terrain, raise and lower the water. Or if the planet doesn't have any water, you can bring water to it by grabbing ice comets and basically slamming them down into the planet's surface. This is a good thing to do on a barren, rocky world. It's a foolish thing to do on a world like this, where it's already full of water. So I basically drowned the planet. And if we pull back. Probably the last thing that I want to talk about today is, if you pull back and get to the galaxy view, you finally start to get a handle on the scope of the game. Each one of these dots is a star, and each one of these stars has 2 to 10 planets circling it. And each one of those planets has content that has been pulled from other people's games. They could be tribes or cities or civilizations that you've never seen before. And if you're online, the amount of content you get in Spore is virtually limitless. So as long as one other person in the world is playing a game of Spore, there is new content in your game to find. And you can of course manage that content and sort that content. So you could say, I only want content from my best friend, or I don't want content from this person who makes terrible creatures, or you could even go through and hand pick through all of the content that's ever been made by people in Spore and then prioritize that in a list. So you can completely manage all of the content in the game. And then if we pull all the way out, someone's contacting me. If we pull all the way out, you can finally see the entire universe. We don't know what's out here. And that's an overview of Spore. Looks awesome.